Hi, I'm Sandra Rupp. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The billionaires continue to make a gazillion dollars. Why? Because of COVID. Was it planned? I'm willing to bet it was. Do you know there was a theme at Davos called the Great Reset? They want to take away your property rights. That's right. They want to put you on a universal basic income. They say you will own nothing and you will be happy. Do you really think that's true? I don't. Over the years, I had met many of the CEOs who attend Davos, originally because I worked in executive search in New York for 18 years. And I met a lot of successful people. I worked in the television business at one time. For anyone who would like executive coaching, you can find me at parthenonadvisors.com. And check out my social media links at sandrarupp.com. And thank you again for joining me. We have viewers in 168 countries. And so one of the problems we had at the World Economic Forum over the years was that a lot of STEM majors started coming because of Silicon Valley and the banking crowd. They were dominating the conversation at Davos. And we had too much what I would call sameness thinking. So the problem there was that we didn't have enough intelligent women and minorities questioning what these white male CEOs were doing. And they came up with all of these, what I would call pretty crazy ideas. And now they're trying to implement them into what I think is a very dangerous state of the world. I do not support vaccine passports. I never will. I don't believe that anyone should be forced to take the vaccine. You know, it's my body, my choice. The vaccine passport is really not about the vaccine anyway. It's about controlling you, okay? And there are a lot of these communist Chinese ideas coming to Davos, whereby they want to track everywhere you go, what you say and do. They want to control what you say on social media. The real nugget happened when one of the world's top CEOs, who I knew very well over a period of 6 years, said to me that his ideas were closer to communism than socialism, and I realized that we are in big trouble. Like many of you, I wanted to believe that these CEOs had positive intentions and wanted to do the right thing, and I drank the Kool-Aid of sustainability and hoping that it would lead to a better world. But what I soon learned is that climate change really wasn't about the environment. It was about people making money and a transfer of wealth outside of the United States to India and China and socialist countries. So what I quickly determined after researching it and reading the Paris Accord and actually researching the fact that conservatives were the first to care about the environment, I realized that conservation was what was important to me when it came to the environment. And that came through really recycling and caring about the environment, limiting your travel. I mean, most of these CEOs that talk about climate change travel around the globe on these big jets. They really don't care. I started to realize that actions speak louder than words, and therefore you really have to look at how someone lives their life. I talked about the inside story on coronavirus when it first came out because only the big companies could stay open, right? That didn't make any sense, did it? No. 99.8 or 9% survival rate, and everyone had to stay home and be locked down. Sounds very fishy to me. Some of the men who talk about being the heads of moral leadership are the most corrupt at Davos. You can't fool me anymore, gentlemen. There is an arrogance and a greed when you get around people that have made millions and sometimes billions of dollars, to the point where they really don't live in reality. They live on another planet, and they love hiring millennials and young people that they can boss around and tell what to do. And they love getting rid of women in leadership so that there's no moral compass. And then they can call themselves the moral leaders, but they're really not the moral leaders. And it's gotten to the point where I have had to write letters to boards of directors and tell them what is going on with some of these men. And some of them have lost their jobs. Some of the chairmen of their boards have lost their jobs. And I have power to wield at this stage of my career. And I've worked hard for it, let me tell you. So I don't plan to stop anytime soon because I have integrity on my side. And I am doing things for the right reasons because I want to pave the way for more women and minorities to be successful as well as men. I care about entrepreneurs. I care about people that don't work for the big companies, which is the majority of people in the United States and in the world. So it's really a handful of people that work for big companies, but somehow the corporate communism is getting more popular. I don't understand it when these foreign CEOs run American-founded companies and want to boss American women and minorities around and tell us what to do. Let me tell you something, James Quincy, the British CEO of Coca-Cola. He went on CNBC and said that he did not believe that voters in Georgia should have to show ID because it was racist. Well, the Rasmussen poll says that 70% of black people believe in voter ID. Indeed, the majority of Democrats and Republicans believe in voter ID. The only people I found that don't believe in voter ID are the people that want to steal elections. And I can tell you that Stacey Abrams attended Bilderberg, and she was invited by some of the powers that be at Bilderberg to do something down there in Georgia, which was not good because in 6 cities there was irregularity in voting, and we know, Patrick Byrne and I know, that in 6 U.S. cities that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. We know that Trump won. I mean, there's no question in my mind. So for anyone who wants the proof, just go right there on Amazon or on barnesandnoble.com, and you can buy the new book by Patrick Byrne. It's spelled B-Y-R-N-E. There's a fake book up that's not his, by Patrick Burns. He's Patrick Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E, the former CEO of Overstock.com. He's written a book called The Deep Rig. It talks about how the election was stolen, that Donald Trump won. And by the way, Patrick is a libertarian and didn't even vote for Biden or Trump. So he has, no skin in the game. He just likes to call a spade a spade. He's a card player like I am. He also smelled the fraud on Wall Street well before it happened, as I did. See, I was living in New York, and I was actually a management consultant to financial services companies before the banks fell and the financial crisis happened. And after it happened, I decided I couldn't place people into these companies anymore. I placed good people into these companies, but yet the leadership failed. There weren't too many women on those board of directors, were there, gentlemen? No, and there aren't many women at Davos. I have fought so hard to take it from 15% women to 22% women, but we need 40% women to make the right change happen, because right now they're saying it's going to take another 135 years for women to have equality, and we're just not willing to wait because we're smarter than Davos men. We actually read the Rasmussen poll. We know that the left-wing media is corrupt. We don't believe the television networks, and then they controlled the narrative. They're doing the same thing in academia. They're doing the same thing in the medical industry. Those hospitals were given funds that incented them to report every death as a COVID death, even though a lot of people were never tested. Do your homework on these topics and you'll learn about a lot of fraud. People that are on the board of the Gates Foundation, like Dr. Fauci, should not be telling us what to do because he has a financial incentive to make money on the vaccines. Bill Gates didn't even attend college, let alone medical school. He flew on Epstein's plane. Do you think I'm going to listen to him for medical advice? No, not me. And not a lot of women that I talk to. There are so many women right now, women with wisdom, that are speaking up and speaking out. This is the future of the media, okay? It's channels like mine. It's channels like Megyn Kelly, Cheryl Atkinson, Trish Regan. These are the people that matter, because these are the people that are telling the truth. Most of my friends are now watching Newsmax and OANN in addition to Fox. Jeff Zucker was fired from NBC and then landed at CNN to turn it into apparently a propaganda network. Even Ted Turner was unhappy with it. But you see, a lot of people who haven't worked in media or been around the media executives don't know all this. But I've gotten to the point where I can't stay silent anymore because I care so much for the United States of America. I love my country. I love Americans. And I don't want to see Americans taken advantage of by left-wing CEOs. If you went to 11th grade with me, you would know that I had to write a paper on my hero at the time, and that was Walter Cronkite. I loved the television news business. I was a history major. I loved constitutional studies. And I love the integrity that Walter Cronkite brought to the news business. And in addition, I want to mention that Princess Diana was a heroine, or a hero of mine, in the sense that she really believed in helping everyone. She had a sensitivity about her. I'm also a highly sensitive person, proud to be one, because we feel things more deeply than others. And she really wanted to create more opportunity for women and minorities and people that were overlooked in society. I try to bring his logic, along with Princess Diana's feelings, to everything that I do. I've gotten into executive coaching, and I really advocate for the individual. So when I work with someone, I am not trying to get them to be like everyone else. I want them to be who they are and to have integrity in what they think, say, and do. And therefore, my approach to coaching is not to have them fit the mold of what everyone else thinks at World Economic Forum or Cannes Lions. I want them to think for themselves and to think for integrity. So I knew that the election of Joe Biden was a stolen election. There's no way he got 81 million votes, and I know the truth. I've met the people that stole it. I have integrity. That's the only thing that matters. And so on this Easter and holiday Passover weekend, I want to leave you with a suggestion. I have devotions for every day of the week in a book called Jesus Calling. Stop trying to control everyone. Put your faith in God and know that everyone has a purpose in this world. Some are communicators like me. Some people have had a lot of life experience in specific areas, and God is working through us to get the truth out. And I know in my heart that Walter would be proud of me, as would Diana, Princess of Wales, because the only thing new in the world is the history you don't know. And we've got a lot of work to do, CEOs. We've got a lot of work to do. The only silver lining is we should replace all of those retired CEOs with women, conservative women, and then we will create a bright future. But while we still have all of these STEM majors and all of these billionaires who want to control the world and control women, we can't have inclusive economic growth because they don't care about us. They've proven that time and time again. They flew on Epstein's jet. They talk about climate change, but they fly around the world. Do they just want to win that Nobel Peace Prize? And for sensitive people or women who have had plastic surgery, they cannot take the vaccine. Now, I have not had plastic surgery, but I am sensitive. And therefore, I know that I will have the side effects that other people may not have. And I've never been an early adopter of anything that's untested. And I've been right on a number of occasions. I'll give you an example. When laser surgery came out for your eyes, an ophthalmologist said to me, "Oh, you should get the laser surgery because you have such, poor eyesight." I wear contact lenses, of course. And I said, "No, I'm not an early adopter of these things. Let's wait." Well, within a year, he told me, "It's a good thing you didn't get that laser surgery because if you did, you wouldn't be able to see at night when you drive because you have astigmatism. So again, I've learned over the years not to adopt anything early. There are some people who just don't have side effects to anything who can take these shots. I'm not one of them. And I don't plan to have any man at Davos tell me what to do. Indeed, I do not like the idea of the vaccine passports because, first of all, the survival rate of COVID is 99.8% for most people. Broadcasting from the number one happiest, healthiest city in the USA, Naples, Florida. I'm delighted to welcome everyone. Naples is getting a lot more popular, and we have a great governor, Governor Ron DeSantis, as well as fantastic senators. I also have the wonderful Alfie Oakes at Seat to Table, who I want to interview, who is representing small businesses now nationwide. And we are back on track for no more lockdowns. Happy Easter, happy Passover, and please create a bright future. And donate on patreon.com. Contact me for executive coaching on parthenonadvisors.com and find my social media at sandrarupp.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. This is where a lot of interesting things happen.